Should developers be punished if criminals hijack their code? Yup, you guessed it. Today we are diving into Tornado Cash. The United States government is currently charging Roman Storm, the co-founder of Tornado Cash, with conspiracy to commit money laundering, violating U.S. sanctions, notably North Korea's Lazarus Group, and operating an unlicensed money-transmitting business. Why should you care? The outcome could criminalize code authorship for privacy tech, chilling innovation in decentralized finance. The precedent here is terrifying. If Roman is convicted for writing immutable code, then every developer contributing to privacy tech, MEV protection, any DeFi protocol, or even blockchain protocols could face prosecution. Prosecutors argued that Storm and co-founders knowingly aided hackers and cybercriminals in laundering over $1 billion, including funds related to sanctioned entities. They claim Storm received repeated pleas from victims, but failed to act, allowing illicit use to continue, and even had potential technical means to inhibit such use. The defense maintains that Storm did not intend to help criminals, likening Tornado Cash to any technology with dual-use capabilities. They argue that mere knowledge of criminals using the protocol is not sufficient for criminal liability. Intent is required, which they say Storm lacked. The trial started on July 14th, and it has been a doozy from the JIT. In no particular order, the legal right to privacy and arguments about physical safety, such as referencing kidnappings or personal attacks, were specifically banned by the judge. Here is an article published 4 days ago about how crypto kidnappings are on the rise. The same judge also allowed into evidence emails sent to Storm by people alleging to have had their funds stolen, but didn't require them to establish any connection between the stolen funds and Tornado Cash. The government presented a pig butchering victim as a witness, only for it to be discovered that Tornado Cash had nothing to do with that lady's stolen funds. Pig butchering is a type of online scam where the victim is encouraged to make increasing financial contributions over a long period of time. It was admitted later on during the trial, but the witness testimony was not stricken, leaving it on the record for the jury to consider during deliberations. My favorite part was when prosecutors had to argue that Storm should have followed compliance rules that they are no longer allowed to say he was required to follow, due to Trump administration policies. It was revealed that Dragonfly Capital VC Thomas Schmidt's home was raided and devices seized as part of the Storm investigation. Dragonfly invested in PepperSec Inc., Tornado Cash, in August of 2020. A Chainalysis percipient witness plead the fifth as the defense debunked government tracing testimonies to avoid self-incrimination, while Chainalysis actively sells to the government the very thing the government is prosecuting Tornado Cash for. This was after another percipient witness, IRS Special Agent George, who was tasked with tracing the government's first witness funds to Tornado Cash, testified that he did not know Crypto.com, like zero clue of its existence, and that he did not know the difference between ERC-20 and ETH. Another witness for the prosecution, Philip Willow, from the tracing firm Anshan AI, was asked to describe an alternative Tornado Cash designed to discourage bad actors, and he basically just described an exchange? And here I thought expert witness testimony required expert knowledge. Oh, and the US Gov really hates t-shirts. The prosecution cited a 2019 conference t-shirt worn by Storm, which implied the service washed Ether, using it as evidence of intent. The defense called it a poor taste meme rather than an admission of guilt. On a cool note, Ethereum's 10-year anniversary brought to light that the beacon deposit for all staked ETH was deployed by an address funded by Tornado Cash on October 14, 2020. The jury has come back and found Roman Storm guilty of only one of 3 counts: conspiracy to run an unlicensed money transmittal business. They were unable to come to a unanimous agreement on count 1, conspiracy to commit money laundering, or on count 3, conspiracy to violate North Korea sanctions. Go figure, this guilty verdict directly contradicts FinCEN's guidance. FinCEN is the Financial Crimes Enforcement Network Bureau within the US government. If your next response is, oh, then it's no problem, he can just appeal then, right? Might I remind you that legal cases like this cost money. I have no doubts we will hear more from this saga, but I challenge you to dig into this story yourself and really think about what your rights mean to you. In the meantime, take a minute to reflect on what data privacy means to you. Tornado Cash and crypto often get a bad rep, but emo wanting to keep your financials private isn't a bad thing? I don't see you all publishing your bank account statements. Privacy is not a crime. And what happens if someone needs to hide, such as a mother and her child, fleeing domestic violence, or a journalist who needs to protect the identity of their sources?